أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Picking up with the legendary military ideology of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam after completing a total of, I believe, 64. This will be the 64th video. This is the era of Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, the commander of the believers during his era. We have completed the era of Sayyidina Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu, as well as the era of Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab, as well as that of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq in the military career of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Madani period, on Muhammadu Gambia channel. This is your humble orator, yours truly, Muhammad Israel, and we're picking up from page number 552. In Ibn Abdul Barr al-Isti'ab, it is narrated through Abu Bakr ibn Abi Jam from Ibn Umar that he said when he was dying, I do not regret anything except not fighting the transgressors alongside with Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu. This also indicates that he swore allegiance to Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu because he only regretted not going out with Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu to fight. He was one of those who kept away from the turmoil and did not fight with anyone. If he had refrained from swearing allegiance, his regret for that would have been greater, and he would have said that clearly. The act of swearing allegiance is obligatory, and refraining from it is threatened with punishment, according to the report of Ibn Umar himself, who said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Whoever dies So, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever dies without having sworn allegiance has died a death of pre-Islamic ignorance. He has died a death of jahiliyyah." Very important. Well, I'm not going to say anything immediately, but yours truly is obliged to say something eventually. This is unlike going out to fight alongside Ali. The companions, may Allah Jalla Jalaluhu be pleased with them all, differed on this matter, and some of them kept out of it. So how can it be imagined that Ibn Umar would regret not taking part in this fighting, but not regret not swearing allegiance if he did in fact refrain from that despite the stern warning concerning it? Thus, it is clear that the claim of some historians that Ibn Umar did not swear allegiance to Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu is indeed false. It is proven that he was one of those who swore allegiance to him. Indeed, he was close to him to the point that Ali was keen to appoint him as a governor and seek his help because of the sincerity and loyalty he saw in him. Sincerity as well as loyalty. After Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu apologized for not accepting the governorship of Syria, Amirul Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu sent Sahal ibn Hanif instead. He had hardly reached the borders of Syria when he was seized by members of Mu'awiya's cavalry, who said to him, "If Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu has sent you, then you are welcome, but if anyone else has sent you, then go back." Syria was seething with anger at the unjust and wrongful murder of Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu. The chemise that was stained with his, or the chemise that was stained with his blood had reached them, along with the fingers of his wife Naila, which had been cut off as she was defending him. The story of his martyrdom was terrifying and painful. It shook them emotionally and moved them to tears. They had also heard the news that the thugs had taken over Al-Madinah and that Banu Umayyah had fled to Mecca. All of this, as well as other events and factors, had a strong effect on the people of Syria and their leader Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan radiallahu anhu, who said that he had the responsibility of standing up for Uthman radiallahu anhu and wreaking vengeance on his killers, since he was his kinsman. And Allah Jalla Jalaluhu says, and whoever is killed wrongfully, intentionally with hostility and oppression, and not by mistake, we have given his heir the authority to demand qisas, law of equality in punishment, or to forgive, or to take diya, blood money, but let him not exceed limits in the matter of taking life. He should not take except the killer. Verily, he is held to by the Islamic law. This is Quran, Surah number 17, ayahs number 33. Muawiyah gathered the people together in Syria and addressed them, telling them that Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu had been killed unlawfully at the hands of foolish hypocrites who did not respect blood that is protected in Sharia. They had shed his blood during the sacred month in the sacred land. The people got angry and denounced what had happened, and their voices became loud. Among them were a number of the companions of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. One of them, named Murrah ibn Ka'b, stood up and said, "Were it not for a hadith I heard from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, I would not have spoken." The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentioned the turmoil and gave some details concerning it. Then a man passed by whose face was covered with a cloth. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "This man will be following true guidance at that time." I went up to him and found that he was Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu. I turned to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked, "Is it this man?" And he said, "Yes." "Is this the man?" He said, "Yes." So during the turmoil, he would be the only one who would be safe from it. There is another hadith which played a role in Muawiyah's quest for vengeance for Uthman and gave him a strong motive and resolve to achieve this goal. It was narrated from An-Nu'man ibn Bashir that Aisha radiallahu anha said, "The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam sent for Uthman bin Affan. He came and the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam turned to him. The last words he said when tapping his shoulder were, 'O Uthman, may clothe you. Allah may clothe you, O Uthman. Allah may clothe you with a chemise which is the hypocrites want to take it off, which if the hypocrites want to take it off, do not take it off until you meet me.'" He said it 3 times. I, An-Nu'man, said to her, "O mother of the believers, why did you not tell us this before?" She said, "I forgot it, and by Allah, I did not remember it." He said, "I told Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan about it, and he did not like what I told him. He wrote to the mother of believers and asking her to write to him about it, and she wrote a letter to him about it." Why he did not like it is left up to the question. Eagerness to implement the ruling of Allah against the killers was the main reason for the refusal of the people of Syria, led by Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, to swear allegiance to Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu as the leader of the believers. It was not because of Muawiyah's ambition to remain as governor of Syria or to ask for that which he was not entitled to, because he understood perfectly that this matter, the Caliphate, was only for those who remained of the 6 members of the consultative committee, and that Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu was better than him and more entitled to that position. The evidence for that is the report narrated by Yahya ibn Sulaiman al-Ja'afi with a good chain of narration from Abu Muslim al-Khawlani, who said to Muawiyah, "Are you disputing with Ali about, are you, excuse me, what he said to him was, are you disputing with Ali and thinking that you are like him?" He said, "No, by Allah, Jalla Jalaluhu, I know that he is better than me, and more entitled to this matter than me. But do you know, but do you not know that Uthman was killed unlawfully, and I am his cousin and the one who is seeking vengeance for his blood? So go to him and tell him, let him hand over to me the killers of Uthman, and I will follow him. They went to Ali and spoke to him, but he did not agree to hand them over. According to another report, they went and spoke to him, and he said, let him swear allegiance first and leave these people for me to deal with them. But Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan refused. There are reports depicting Muawiyah's refusal to obey as being because of his ambitions and worldly aspirations, and because of enmity and competition between Banu Hashim and Banu Umayyah, dating back to pre-Islamic times. In addition, there are other slanders, fabrications, and attempts to undermine the companions of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some contemporary writers, such as Al-Aqad in Abqariyat Ali and Abdul Aziz Al-Duri in Muqaddima fi Tarikh Sadr al-Islam, relied on these reports and based their false notions on them. The truth is that all of these reports are worthless, and their narrators were criticized either because they were not good character, or they were not of good character, or they were confused. The province of Syria remained under the control of Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan throughout the Caliphate of Ali. He was not able to gain control of it or to appoint governors or commanders over it. There were some clashes in the eastern part of Syria between the troops of Ali and the troops of Muawiyah. The most significant was the Battle of Siffin, which took place 37 years after the Hijriya, at which both Ali and Muawiyah were present. None of these battles put a stop to Muawiyah's continued domination of Syria. Mesopotamia, Al Jazeera. Mesopotamia was one of the provinces that belonged to Syria at the time of Uthman ibn Affan. After he was martyred, Syria was under the control of Muawiyah, while Iraq was under the control of Ali. This made Mesopotamia an area of dispute between the two sides because of its geographical location, with its connection to Syria on the one hand and Iraq on the other hand. Hence, it was possible to gain control of it from either side. A number of battles took place between the troops of Ali and the troops of Muawiyah as both sides attempted to conquer the region. Ali radiallahu anhu managed to gain control of it for a while. He appointed Al-Ashtar, the most famous of Ali's governors in Mesopotamia, whom he appointed to that post more than once. Al-Ashtar managed to put its affairs in order, but in 38 after the Hijriya, Ali radiallahu anhu was forced to transfer him to Egypt as the governor there. Chaos returned to Mesopotamia once again, and a number of battles took place there as Muawiyah tried to gain control of it after that. It seems that at the end of the 39th year of the Hijriya, Muawiyah managed to gain control over Mesopotamia to some extent. It had been a refuge for some of those who had stayed out of the conflict between Ali and Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. They did not swear allegiance to Ali while the dispute was ongoing between him and Muawiyah. Its location in the middle between the two sides is what prompted them to choose Mesopotamia. According to some narrations, two of those who were appointed as governors of Mesopotamia by Ali were Shubayb ibn Amir and Kamil ibn Ziyad. They played a role in resisting the armies of Syria which attacked Mesopotamia. In fact, they managed to attack Syria from the direction of Mesopotamia, Egypt, when Uthman radiallahu anhu was martyred. The governor of Egypt was Muhammad ibn Abi Hudayfa, who had taken the position by force and was not approved by Uthman. After the martyrdom of Uthman, Ali confirmed him as governor. Not long after that, Muawiyah sent an army to Egypt and defeated and captured Muhammad ibn Abi Hudayfa. He was then imprisoned and executed. It was said that Ali radiallahu anhu anhu did not appoint Muhammad ibn Abi Hudayfa as governor of Egypt. Rather, he left him in his position until he was killed, whereupon Ali appointed Qais ibn Sa'd to take his place. He said to him, "Go to Egypt, for I have appointed you as its governor. Go there and take people whom you trust and love to accompany you. Take troops with you until you get there, because that will be more frightening to your enemies and more encouraging to your followers. When you get there, insha'Allah, be kind to those who do good and be harsh towards those who do evil. Be kind to the common folk and prominent people alike, for kindness is a blessing." Qais's intelligence and good conduct prevailed in a number of situations. When he set out for Egypt, there was a group there who was angry about the killing of Uthman, and another group who had taken part in the murder itself. Qais was met by cavalry from Egypt before he entered the land. They said, "Who are you?" He said, "I am one of the supporters of Uthman. I am seeking refuge with some people so that we can support one another for the sake of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu." They said, "Who are you?" He said, "Qais ibn Sa'd." They said, "Go ahead." So he went ahead and entered Egypt. The way Qais handled this situation is what enabled him to enter Egypt. After that, he announced that he was the Amir, the governor of Egypt, only after entering it on that basis. Perhaps if he had announced to the soldiers that he was an Amir, they would have prevented him from entering Egypt in the first place, like the one whom Ali radiallahu anhu had sent to Syria, who was prevented from entering the country when the Syrian troops realized that he had been sent by Ali ibn Abi Talib as governor of Syria. Inshallah, we will stop it here at page number 558, and inshallah we will pick it up from that point right there. And we are hoping everyone will do well by this information that is now being open to the public, the People's Republic of the Shahad, all across the globe, and all of those who are, sitting on the fence and hoping to understand better about the historical perspectives and that which has brought about the military cities. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka asmu rabbika wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruk wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah العلي العظيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.